Hello, welcome back to Buckle Up, and today we're going to find out what the best car of 2024 was.
And we're going to do that on some of our favourite roads in Yorkshire.
And by the end of the video, one of these 5 cars will be crowned Buckle Up Car of the Year 2024.
But first, some ground rules.
Rule number 1. We have to have driven all of these cars for the first time this year.
Rule number 2, no unobtainium. No car here is more than £80,000, though we do reserve the right to raise this in line with inflation.
So without further ado, let's drive the cars.
1, 2, 3, take my hand and come with me because you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. I say you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. 4, 5, 6, come on and get your kicks. Now you don't need the money when you look like that, do you, honey?
For me, the reason the 5N is here is the fact that not only is this an absolutely incredible driver's car offering you an amazing amount of performance and brilliant level of engagement, is the fact that it manages to do all that and it just happens to be an EV as well. If you put somebody in this who did not know it was an electric car and they had all of the engine noises and gear shift simulation on, they wouldn't know it wasn't powered by petrol. It's just that good at mimicking an ICE-powered driving experience that you genuinely wouldn't know if you didn't already know. All of the things that you experience as you drive this car just make you feel so connected, and it's an experience that, if can be replicated, means that the future for electric cars is incredibly bright if you're a keen driver.
The 5N, well, it is simply brilliant because right now I'm driving along at a moderate pace in eco mode. It's a completely normal, conventional electric vehicle. But if I press this N button on the steering wheel, I've now got a rev counter that has appeared on my digital dash. I've got paddles behind the steering wheel which now control my gears, and I pull the paddles and I feel the sensation of a gear change. It's uncanny. It's ridiculously good fun. This has just ruined every other EV. This is just so cool. How is it that Hyundai are the ones that have done it? You know, Porsche EVs don't have this, BMW EVs don't have this, and yet Hyundai are here on the side of people who like driving, who enjoy driving. Woo!
In the truest sense of the word, the Ioniq 5N is a game changer. It has shown us that attainable electric performance cars, I know it's 60 grand, 65, but it's not Porsche Taycan money, it's not Rimac Nevera money. This is a family vehicle with savage performance, brilliant driver engagement, and it's electric. It's fantastic. I think candidacy here, we might be coming back to this at the end of the decade for car of the decade. This is a step change in what an electric enthusiast car can be. I think it's stunning.
Big black boots, long brown hair. She's so sweet with her get back stare. Well, I can say
This is not a sports car. This is absolutely not a sports car. If you're getting into it thinking it's that, you're going to be disappointed. This is a grand tourer. This is something to go, you know, on holiday in. The boot's actually pretty decent, and it is quite softly sprung, especially at the back, so it likes to bounce along a bit. But it is interesting, and it is quite fun, especially when the back end comes round. If they just mounted the seat a bit lower, that would be ideal. I mean, it looks ace. The doors are so cool. I think I'd be a bit embarrassed if I owned it, though. It drives pretty well, and I'm driving along without damaging the environment.
Now, I have to admit, the pleasure I derive from driving this car to some extent is infantile. I like that it has scissor doors. I like that it looks like a concept car on the outside. I like the fact I'm surrounded by a cluster of screens. And I like the fact that even this base model, with its 300 horsepower plus rear motor, absolutely rockets down the road when you plant your right foot. Okay, it is not the most poised sports car. The damping could use some work, the steering needs a bit more feel, and I like the experience of a noiseless roadster, but obviously not everyone's there yet. But there's just something about this car that makes me really like it, and it's intangible, but that's really what seals the deal with a car as a car enthusiast. Is there's just something about the car that makes you like it. And as stupid as this may sound, the Cyberster has it in droves.
The Cyberster was an incredibly interesting car for us this year, and that's because what it brings is a bit of a halo model to MG, which is a brand that has really risen from the dead and is now putting out some incredibly good products. With the Cyberster, they've absolutely knocked it out of the park. And that's because, well, to look at, this car is incredible. How good does this look? The proportions are so swooping. Seeing a car that looks this good coming from a brand like MG is not something you'd have thought would be possible a couple of years ago, but they've come on so far, and this, as their halo product, is incredible. Now, it may look like a sports car, but it is a GT car at heart. What it really is a very comfortable, cosseting, luxurious drive. And it really does nail it.
Well, I could see you home with me, but you were with another man, yeah. I know we ain't got much to say before I let you get away.
The EV9 is just a great big armchair of a car. It's delightful to do distance in this, and very possible thanks to highly advanced battery technology. It's got an excellent range. For such a massive vehicle as well, it's surprisingly efficient. These are all excellent points, but the key thing is it's just so easy to drive. You can't get a car that wafts down the road like this unless you step all the way up into something like a Land Rover, and this is doing it for less money with more advanced technology and offering greater reliability, and the looks are excellent as well. Big fan of the Kia EV9.
The EV9 is one of the best cars I've driven this year because it brings a lot to the table. Not only is it a really large, spacious, comfortable, capable, and really very nicely styled and laid out family car, it's one that offers you an amazing amount of technology, supreme levels of comfort, and it drives very well too. And on top of all of that, it just happens to be electric. This is genuinely the best 7-seater that I've had the chance to drive and review this year, and we have had a few on the channel, but I absolutely love this one because it brings something different to the table. It's such a modern, refreshing, standout design. It's very boxy, but it's still somehow pretty economical given its size and weight. And then when you look at this interior, the cabin is absolutely gorgeous. The array of materials, the ambient lighting, the way it's all put together, the design, the layout, I absolutely love all of it. As far as large 7-seat vehicles go, this has got to be, I think, one of the best on the market.
So why have we brought along the EV9 then? Well, because it's really rather good. It's not in the same league as the other cars here in terms of its sporting prowess, let's say, but for a 7-seater family SUV, this is pretty darn good. It's so comfortable, super easy and quiet to drive, and most importantly, it's giving Discovery 3, which is one of my favourites of all time, except it's electric, so I'm not killing any polar bears while I'm driving along in my nearly 3-ton SUV. So that's a welcome change.
I said, are you gonna be my girl?
The MX-5 is a special car in quite a few ways because it's front-engined, rear-wheel drive, and you've got a peppy little normally aspirated engine and a manual gearbox, both of which are things that are quite rare to find in a new car nowadays. And what that means is that you get a little bit of back to basics but incredibly enjoyable motoring. You've got so much feel from this car when you drive it, and this gearbox is literally, quite literally, the best manual gearbox I have ever used. When it comes to the car's dynamics and handling, they are absolutely perfect. It just finds the balance between playful and planted and really allows you to ride that line. It's such a controllable and balanced little chassis. The car is just so much fun. The steering's so direct, all of your controls feel brilliant. And yeah, okay, it's small, it's not necessarily the most practical car in the world. You've got 2 seats, but you've got that soft top roof, you've got the driving feeling you really enjoy, and it's just such a great car to just have some fun in.
Oh, how wonderful it is to be back in this MX-5. I love this car. The gearbox, the lightness, the feel from the steering. It's all just fantastic and so refreshing when you've been sat inside 2-ton electric cars. I mean, we all know how far electric cars have come on. I mean, 3 of the cars in this test are electric, for God's sake, but nothing really gives you that sense of involvement like a manual gearbox, a 3rd pedal at my feet, and a car that weighs just over a ton. Doesn't need a lot of power, but my God, is it fun.
Now, the thing with the MX-5 is it just reminds you about everything we go on about as motoring journalists. What's good about cars? The MX-5 is that distilled. It's lightweight, it's rear-wheel drive, it's naturally aspirated. Everything is geared towards the driver. It's a manual. And this new Humura spec is excellent. But let's be honest, it's in our Car of the Year test because we could get away with excusing it for having a light facelift. Why would you not want to have an MX-5 in a test like this? They are fantastic drivers' cars. We know this. And the facelift has not done anything to spoil it. It's now fancier, more comfortable, more practical than ever. But who cares? It's about the drive. And the steering's brilliant and the gearbox is brilliant and I love it. I really like this car.
3, take my hand and come with me because you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. I say you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. 4, 5, 6, come on and get your kicks. Now you don't need money with a face like that, do ya?
The VRS. We had to have a hot hatch, didn't we, really? It would be criminal not to. And out of the ones we've driven this year, this is the one that Harry kept going on about. So I am pleased to report that my colleague has not lost his mind. This, of course, is based on the same chassis as the Golf GTI, but because it's a Skoda, it's cheaper and it's green. So he took it in here on this hairpin bend. In sport mode, it just hooks up the front diff. And yes, it just scrabble about a bit on exit, but that's the joy that you get from these old school front wheel drive hot hatches. There aren't many about now, which is a real shame. And, you know, Skoda keeping it old school. And big respect for that, because it is fun. I wish it had a manual, but, you know, with the way the world is at the minute, I can't really complain too much. And I'm having great fun. Whee!
I love the Octavia VRS because it's all the upsides of a relatively sensible hot hatchback, but then just more practicality. And it's also kind of more under the radar, which appeals to me. I like the idea that the other people on the road aren't aware of how quickly your car might be able to go, but it'll still do 40 mpg on a gentle drive out. It still handles. Loads of space in the back, loads of space in the boot. Oh, what's not to love? And very comfortable as well. Beautifully judged by Skoda. Beautifully judged.
The Octavia is an interesting proposition because what it really brings you is essentially what a Golf GTI has, except you get a bunch more practicality. The boot in this is seriously impressive when you consider the size of the car. So what you've got is a great drivetrain that's been well proven, but in a much more practical body style. And that, as far as I'm concerned, is a big plus. You can also get this as an estate, which we really approve of. It sounds pretty good, it goes really well, and if you're sensible, you'll get good fuel economy too. So the blend of style, performance and practicality that's on offer with the Octavia VRS do make it a pretty good contender for Car of the Year. I mean, ultimately, there is a reason why all 5 of the cars we've chosen to be here today have been selected. And that is, in their own different ways, each is a really good car.
Big black boots, long brown hair, she's so sweet with her.
And a drum roll, please, for the awards of the Buckle Up Awards of the Year.
Award.
2024 awards.
Would you like to say awards one more time in that sentence, please?
I can't keep doing this.
Hit the symbol. Psh. We love all these cars. They would not be shortlisted if we did not love them. Therefore, we have defined for you where all of these cars excel in a certain category, and we'll award them as such. And then
The big one.
the big one.
Yes. We have chosen an overall Car of the Year, but first...
Oh, good. We've got it written down.
Yeah.
We do indeed.
Because we can't remember these things.
Gold
anymore.
envelope. Gold envelope moment.
First award, the Game Changer Award. And of course, it's got to be the Ioniq 5N because it's raised the bar for EVs, for Hyundai and for drivers in general.
It's
really
changed the game.
Yeah, it's a really good car and it just happens to be electric.
Yes. Award numero dos.
That was slick.
This is the Cool Dad Car Award, and we're giving it to the Octavia VRS.
Of course. Look
It's
at it.
everything you'd want from a hot hatchback with space for your children. Cool Dad.
Great.
Need I say more?
Definitely not. Best driver's car of the year. Well, I don't know. It's a tough one, isn't it? It's probably the one that's a ton and has a manual gearbox. It's the Mazda MX-5, of course.
Hamura.
Yeah, with the 2-litre engine.
Because that came out this year, so therefore it's fine to be in the test.
Yes.
That's the justification for us driving around in the Mazda MX-5 all weekend.
Yes. It's a very lovely, sweet, sweet car.
Yeah. You're going to have to surreptitiously come across for the next one now.
Thank you. Award number 4. Best Comeback Award. Well, obviously.
Only one of these brands has come back.
Yes. Only one of these brands literally died after the 4 owners stole all the money from everyone's pensions.
And, well, what they've done is they're going back to their roots.
But also...
a GT car. A roots, but with a futuristic twist.
Yes. And we do like it.
Proper halo car. And that means that award number 5...
Oh, I don't want to be here.
Large Car of the Year award.
Oh, I think it might be the MX-5.
This is an award for making a car that can seat more than 5 people that you might actually want to own and not feel like on one side of things you've given up on life in a minivan, or on the other side of things you're killing the planet with your 3-litre diesel V6. And this fulfills all the criteria. It's electric, you're saving the polar bears, and there's space for all the family. 4 Isofix points. The judges were impressed.
Oh, were they?
The judges were impressed by the 4 Isofix points.
Excellent.
And the options of captain seats in the middle row.
Yeah. Which means we can now talk about which car of these 5 we have picked for the Buckle Up Car of the Year 2024. It's the Hyundai Ioniq 5N.
Da 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 da.
In a surprise to literally no one, because if you watched our video of it in the summer where we drove it at Millbrook Proving Grounds, we loved it.
It is properly amazing.
Yeah.
If you have at all the opportunity to go drive one, you should. And,
Yeah.
and if you can afford one, you should buy it.
I would if I could.
Yeah.
Like, I
There's
literally
there's-
would buy that car.
There's no downside.
It's the best all-round car that I've driven all year. It just happens to be electric, but you've got space for your family, you can go the distance, and it's so impressive.
Naffing fast, I've
Nothing-
heard.
I've heard that before
No.
from that side.
Yeah.
Anyway,
on that side of things.
on that side of things. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.
Yes.
If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Comment down below and let us know why you think we're wrong.
What's
And you
your
would-
car of the year?
Yeah, what is your car of the year? Let us know. But most importantly, please do subscribe and ding the notification bell so you never miss one of our uploads.
You can support the channel in a few different ways. The first of which is our merch store. You can go and buy things with Buckle Up logos on them. Secondly, all of our social medias are linked in the video description. Please do go and follow us in one or all of those places. And thirdly, we have channel memberships directly here on YouTube.
Whoa. Channel memberships right here on YouTube. It sounds like you should go and do one or all of those things, and that we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.